Well done, Mr. Wright. I bet it wasn't easy to gather as much evidence as you have. So you were Shelley the Killer's client. You didn't really think I would dirty my own hands in this, did you?
What do you mean?
And that woman, Adrian, was quite brave herself, trying to stick the crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. But all I care about is that Juan's dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer?
You're lying. But it's terrible.
It's way past your bedtime, little girl. Go on and let us grown-ups talk about more adult things.
But why? Why did you hide that video camera in?
A weakling soon believes the words of others, just like that pathetic Adrian. He knew about Miss Andrews' secret. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. What? Oh, come on now. Mr. Wright, assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding the sinful deeds over their heads. And a superstar like me, how much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess?
And that's why.
Yes, that's where the video comes in. It's got his face and the crime scene recorded on it, preserved for all time. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. That's right. That video is my insurance. Isn't that what they call it, Mr. Wright? I'm also really loving the fact that he's holding the Brady. I do this sometimes. But in order for me to kind of like get into the vibes, I have to kind of like move how they do. So I actually have like an energy drink and I'm kind of just like, I can't hold it in that like stereotypical vibe, like villain vibe, but I'm kind of just like, God, I have such a weird way of doing these voices. If I ever do a face cam again, I definitely like, it would be so much fun. But right now, my setup is a nightmare and there's no way I could do it.
Why would you do something so wrong?
Because I'm a grown-up and I can. Good enough of an answer for you, little girl.
I love this so much. Why? Why would you kill Mr. Kurita?
Because he was about to sling so much dung on my beautiful public image. How has he been able to hide this, like, into... Like, okay, he just looks like evil Shanks now. Like, you know, the scar over his face and everything. Like, is he gonna sit here and tell us, like, be careful of Blackbeard? Like, be careful of Marshall? Like, is that what he's here to tell us? Like, how has that not been shown or revealed or anything? Like, it's just like, oh, let me just, like, slick the hair. Like, don't get me wrong. Again, Renba Subami vibes. But still, I'm like... How has that not been shown, ever? Scandals are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it?
If Mr. Kurita had been able to give it, then Mr. Engard's secret would have...
Ah, well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know. I had no interest in doing it, really, but bit by bit, it crept up on me. And then the situation just presented itself perfectly. How beautiful, I thought.
And that's how Mr. Kurita ended up dead.
Let me tell you something. I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. People are simply things to be used and thrown away. Put on a sweet innocent face and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it, the assassin too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone, all working their butts off for me, Matt Engard. Aw, did that leave you speechless? What a shame. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? You've grown awfully quiet. How could I have been so deceived by you all this time? I'm really glad that we do actually get this, because, like, everyone that we have defended so far has been innocent, and now we're defending someone that has done it. I'm very excited to see where this goes. When we first met, I asked if you had killed Juan Corrida, and you answered very clearly that you hadn't killed anyone. Hey now, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing was the killer guy, right? All I'm guilty of is taking a catnap in my room. You killed Mr. Kurita. I dare you to say that in court tomorrow. Oh, but too bad. You can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? You could always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? Oh, but you can't, can you? It would be the one thing you absolutely can't do.
Mystic Maya!
You wouldn't want to test the killer. He's a man of his word. So I hear. You can end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose. You scoundrel. So if I were you, Mr. Wright, Esquire, I think I would give it all my all tomorrow. Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution. I'll get you for this. That's such a cliched phrase. Juan said something like that, if memory serves. Of course, well, we all know how things turned out for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. God, I love theatrical bitch villains like that, okay? There's a reason I love Nimbasu Bobby. There's a reason I love Dobby from MHA. Like, all-time favorite villain, Envy from Fullmetal Alchemist, okay? I even did a whole entire, like, TikTok thing of me watching Banana Fish, and I loved Arthur's, like, theatrical little shit, and everyone thought I was a simp for him. And I was like, no, I just love a theatrical little bitch. Ah, I love it! Maya, what am I supposed to do? And now you've finally found it. The starting line of this case. Edgeworth. I don't care for the horrid atmosphere here. Let's return to the precinct. We're gonna work together! Well, Wright, what are you going to do if you plan on changing your strategy?
No! We can't do that!
That's right. He's holding Maya hostage. What? What should I do? That's not something I can answer for you.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Right? Only you can decide where to go from here. 1 year ago, at that time, I didn't truly understand what a prosecutor was. And that is why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. I felt that I couldn't stand in a court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, Wright, it's your turn. My turn. What is this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer. You must find it on your own. Are we gonna end up having like an entire year hiatus? I'm a lawyer, but to fight for someone who is clearly a killer. Matt Engard, that man is really... Ugh! It doesn't matter who. Every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system? Proper defense? But what exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal through shouting and trickery? Ironic that you, of all people, should say such a thing. Isn't that exactly how you fought for your clients up until now? Well, that may be true, but that's... It's because I believe my clients to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. But if I were to get in guard and acquittal, that isn't a proper defense at all. I became a lawyer because I thought I could save people who were suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if I win the case, I still lose in the end. I just don't know what to do. Right, would you get a hold of yourself? You have it all wrong. Huh? We aren't some sort of heroes. We're only human, you and I. You want to save someone? That's something easier than said than done, wouldn't you say?
That's...
You are a defense attorney. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. And that is all you can do. People like you and Francesca von Karma are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end, even when you know the truth is not with you. But I'm not like you. I can't fight for a false verdict, for a man I clearly know to be guilty. Francesca, she fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is her perfect win record. That's all. And? Isn't that the same as you? Isn't that why you ran away a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed. You were so petty. I see. Now I understand why you despise me so. However, you are mistaken. What do you? Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record, I began to realize the error of my ways. I realized that such things as a perfect record are meaningless.
What?
I don't believe you. Are you saying that is why you left the prosecutor's office? But why? Then why? Why are you here now? The answer to that is something that you will find out on your own. I have faith you will see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. But if you can't, then you will be powerless to change the ending of this story.
Mr. Nick, the transceiver!
I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Now then, Mr. Attorney, do you wager you can attain acquittal tomorrow? My, what is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time. Tell me, please, why are you holding Maya hostage for Mr. Engard's sake? Why are you doing this for that cold-blooded killer? Right. Please, don't misunderstand things. He is my client. Don't toy with me. A man who hires an assassin is much of a killer himself. I believe you were asking me for a reason as to why I am doing what I am. Yeah. This is what I like to call my aftercare. What the heck is aftercare? My name carries a certain amount of honor and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure that no suspicion falls upon my clients for my handiwork. That is what is called client relations, and is a part of an assassin's duty. An assassin's duty? We were unlucky this time, and my client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney. And to ensure that you would do everything in your power to the very end. What is your name? I believe I told you once before, however... You did, but... My name is the Killer. Shelley the Killer. You're Shelley the Killer. Please keep in mind you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As a killer, I always finish what I set out to do. If you fail to keep up your end of the bargain... Maya! It would be my duty as an assassin to see to it she receives a nice long... No! Now then, if you'll excuse me, if someone were to trace this signal back to me, it would be quite troublesome.
Missing Maya!
I don't know what to say. Edgeworth, did you hear that? At the end of that transmission. Huh, oh, it sounded like a cat.
A cat?
It can't be. That cat, can it?
But what is it?
I think I know where Shelley the Killer is holding Maya hostage. Edgeworth, have all police units head for Engard Mansion immediately. Alright, you hurry over there as well then. Don't lose hope yet, Pearls. The fight has only just begun.
Yeah.
Let's boogie on over to the... Why is it? Why did that bear move? Maya!
Please answer us, Mystic Maya!
We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape, assuming he's still in the area. I can't believe it. That butler, all this time he was the killer. The man had his face stitched up. Do you not remember? There are not that many people with a stitched up face, Phoenix. Like, obviously we know it as the player, but like, how do you miss? Like, the man's face was fucking stitched up. How many people do you know with a stitched up face? He and Engard were working together all this time. I'm sure they had worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. Oh. Nope. Looks like there's another room in the back. I'm sure the investigation team is already doing its job there.
There's a small door at the bottom of this bigger door, Mr. Nick.
That is for the cat to use.
Oh, you mean Chew? Oh, it's a figurine of a bear. But there are a lot of cuts in it for some reason.
A bear? Isn't that more of a thing for Mr. Kurita? Why would something like this be here? Right, look down. There's a little pet door installed here.
I'm sure it's for Chew.
Do you think this came through that little door? This door, it's locked. Well, I'm pretty sure used to breaking down doors by now. Let's go, Edgeworth. There's no one here. When it looks at this room, I would say this is Engard's private lounge. And look at this, Wright. An antenna for sending and receiving video signals to the VCR. Check inside the deck. If there's a tape, it'd be an important piece of evidence. If we're lucky, it'll have the moment the crime was committed recorded on it. I'm sorry, but tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found.
No.
But there's no mistake that someone used it to record something. Looks like someone took the tape we're looking for and escaped with it. Let's go to the wine cellar. We've searched all over, but it looks like he got away. I'm sorry. Looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. And now we've lost our only lead. Don't give up yet. That little girl, that little girl is looking to you to be her pillar. Yeah, you're right. We're close, I can tell. We've already set up checkpoints along every route leading out of the district. Leave the rest to us. Maya. The light doesn't filter all the way. Creates a carpet. This looks like a picture of Miss Impasse. With love, Celeste.
It's Impasse, you mean?
Yeah, Mr. Kurita's former manager.
I would have pictured Miss Impasse be here in Mr. Engard's mansion.
And why does it say with love? This might be a clue. What's wrong, Pearls?
Please let me see that picture frame.
Huh? What's so special about the frame?
On the back, there's something written on the back of the frame. Maya!
It's
Mystic Maya, she left a message.
What?
I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You better get Engard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you, ever. I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Pearly, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's got to watch out for the helpless lunk. That's it for now, Nick. I guess I'll talk to you guys later.
Right. What's wrong? Why the blank stare? Oh, nothing. We've searched the house, and this is the last room. It looks like he eluded us. Edgeworth, yes? As far as clues go, I think this is about all I'm going to get. But I'm still short one last thing. And what is that? Miss Andrews' psyche lock. If I could just find out what secret she's holding, then I think I stand a chance in court tomorrow. to blow this case wide open and expose the truth. I think I know what you're thinking. I'll contact the detention center. Thanks, Edgeworth. Well, let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock. Holy shit, this... Like, here's the thing. I guess because I was kind of spoiled with, like, the first game and, like, everything dealing with, Edgeworth and his dad. But, like... This one is so much more intense, and I think it's because of the fact that it's, like... We've always defended people who were not guilty. But now we're defending someone who's actually guilty. So it's going into that implication of, you know... defense, and it's like, you know, that sort of moral implication, because I don't think a lot of people go into defense law being like, yeah, I want to protect every scumbag out there. And it's like, you know, you wanted to protect the, you know, defend those who, you know, maybe the police preemptively accuse, or, you know, don't have, you know, might have messed up, you know, things like that. There are a lot of things, but then you have these people like Engard, or like so many other terrible killers, like, in the past, and, like, just terrible people in the past. It's like, they still have to have defense attorneys. And it's dealing with that moral quandary of how do you protect someone who doesn't deserve to be protected. Because you're here to serve justice, but then you know, like, you have a job, but that goes in direct opposition with, like, your morals. So it is really interesting. Good evening, Mr. Wright. What's wrong? You look ill. Miss Andrews, I have come to remove your psyche lock. Psyche lock? I want to know, and you will tell me your secret. Fine, go ahead. I'll try to break me if you can. Because I feel like we have everything. Like, there's nothing else we can get. Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. Engard for murder? I've already told you countless times, it's because I thought Matt was the killer. That's not it. I know you have a personal reason to like Mr. Engard. Miss Andrews, you may think I didn't hear you, but I know you said something earlier. You said revenge. So you're saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt, and that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I would want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people. There is something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. I assume we show Celeste's... I wonder if we show this. Because we know that, like, Celeste would do something, but the fact that this is there... Right? Oh, okay, we're supposed to present the profile first. Okay. Celeste? There's only one catalyst that could cause such strong feelings, and even revenge. And that is Miss Impass's suicide. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hit her suicide note was also Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt? You're right, you haven't mentioned him yet. For you to have hate Mr. Engard, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impasse and her suicide. Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Matt? And now we bring the photo. This is a photo of Miss Impasse, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away, though. With love. Celeste. This is Miss Impact's handwriting, isn't it? Where did you find this? No, that's alright. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found this at Mr. Engard's mansion. And After all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. Is this going where I think it's going? I'm very curious. Celeste, she was supposed to get married to Juan. Yes, but I heard that it didn't work out.
Because Mr. Kurita didn't want to get married to her anymore, right?
Yes, because of Matt.
Because of Mr. Engard. What do you mean?
I think I can see where this is going. Celeste, she was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at the time. I was working part-time back then, and I often saw the two of them together. So that's why, with love, Celeste is written on the frame of that picture. They were a couple, weren't they?
They were a couple, weren't they?
Wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used. Toyed with until she was thrown away.
That's so horrible.
Matt's entire image is built around how nice and wonderful of a man he is. A scandal would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste, in her kindness, moved over to Worldwide Studios. And that's where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him, even happier than she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan were such a good match, they were even planning to get married. And then, it was suddenly called off. On the night Juan called their marriage off, Celeste, she killed herself. And that's why I framed Matt. It was revenge for Celeste and for myself. I'm sure even you can guess why Juan called the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. I see, so that's what happened.
But then why did Mr. Kurita have to call it the wedding? I don't understand at all.
It was probably because of his worthless male pride. Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. Matt waited for the wedding announcement and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most.
Or Miss Impact.
That wasn't the end of it. That day, I'm almost certain that Celeste left a suicide note behind. And in that note, she left a detailed account of Mary's misdeeds, and so that she would never again be hurt by Matt, she chose to die. Then, when Juan discovered her body, he hid her note.
But why would he do that?
It's simple. Juan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt, and it would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image. In any case, with his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge. Revenge? There's that word again. Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note. At a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. And that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it because I heard it all from Juan. It was so I could find out about all this that I drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. That night, when I found Juan's body, it was only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on one another after all. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was going to burn it. I even brought a lighter. But I couldn't find a suicide note. That's when revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring them to my own kind of cruel revenge. Celeste was killed by those two monsters. So when I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? I'm a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for your time and for talking with me.
It was no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway.
I can't sleep either. Not with Maya's situation or with what I know now.
And y'all may not be able to sleep, but at the very least, we won't get the end until next time. So stick around. We will probably be getting to the finale of Phoenix Wright Justice for All next time. My God. This entire, episode, not this this filming episode, but what is this one called? Big Shot Turnabout? Farewell, My Turnabout. My God, this one has been so intense. But I'll see y'all next time. Bye.